Alright guys, what's going on? My name's Christian, or Genuine Perspective, and welcome back to another video. Thank you so much for stopping by this video and just clicking on it, giving it a little love, man. It's been a while since I uploaded, and I know I say that way too often, and I honestly do apologize. Like, you know, I don't mean to not post. It's just life has been crazy lately, and I'm probably gonna make a video about it. Maybe I already have by the time you see this. I don't know. I should probably make a video about it, but I really have good excuses, but we won't get into that right now. Right now, we're getting into the story that probably rocked my school, my old school, for a while. And this is the time. This is about the finger in the butthole story, okay? It sounds weird, and quite frankly, it is weird. So, before I get into this, I want to make it perfectly clear, this is not me in this story, okay? Like, I'm not, this was not me. This did not happen to me. I'm not, you know, okay? So, my butthole is finger free, you know? No fingers have been there as far as I know. I hope. And so, yeah, but anyway, let's get into this story. So, for those of you who didn't know, I used to go to a school that was really small, right? I mean, this school was tiny, dude, and not a lot of people went to it. I want to say 200 kids in general, or not in general, in all. And now I actually go to a bigger school. I have about 1,000 kids in my school, and I actually go to a college which, you know, has like 10,000 kids, or 5,000, I don't know, something like that. And yeah, so anyway, when something happens at a small high school like the one I went to, it really blows up, right? Like, everyone ends up hearing about it, okay? So if it's a juicy story, or it's like, you know, it's some kosher shit, you know, everyone's gonna hear about it, right? You know, your business is not your business. Your business is effectively everyone's business. And so on this particular occasion, there was a guy, semi-popular dude, I'd say pretty popular guy, you know, and he was dating this girl for about 3 months, I want to say, something like that. At this point, they were dating. And I actually mentioned this girl in another video. If someone comments that they want to know which video that is, I'll reply to your comment and tell you. But I feel like I'm just not going to mention it in case anyone I know watches this video, so they can, you know, draw lines to who I'm talking about. But if you want to know, really, I'll link you the video in the comment section. But anyway, they're dating for 3 months. And so they had kind of strict parents, from what I understood. You know, I was not close to this guy. I didn't know this guy very well. He was just a dude at the high school. I knew of him because at a small high school, you know everyone. I literally knew everyone's name in my high school, and trust me, I did not like that whatsoever. But yeah, anyway, so I didn't know this guy this well, and they had really strict parents. So what they would have to do is they would say that, okay, you know, we're going to go on a date night. They'd tell their parents that. And what they would do is they would drive to this location in the town where no one really was, right? Where no one could see you. You were kind of private, because it was a rural town, you know, a town where, you know, there's lots of open back roads, and there's lots of mountains and pastures and all that shit. And so just lots of open spaces to go places where people aren't going to see you, you know, where you're going to be pretty hidden. And so they went to one of these spots, and they would all the time, to like make out and kind of touch and, you know, do that type of stuff. And so apparently this couple went out one night. I want to say it was like 11 or something. I don't remember that detail, but I'm assuming that's when it was, probably like 11 p.m. And they went to this location, you know, started making out, and apparently the two of them had been talking about, like, okay, should we have sex? You know, they were talking about the whole sex thing and whether or not they wanted to do it, and they felt, so I guess they came to the consensus that they were just going to make out without clothes, if that makes sense. And so that's kind of how it happened. And so while they make out, you know, he'd kind of slide his hand down there and, you know, kind of go to town, have a nice little time and stuff like that. And apparently, on this occasion, someone drove down the road. So they were in the back roads, and someone drove down the road, and they both went down, and this car stopped right there and like looked in the car and stuff. Apparently didn't see him or anything, and they thought it was like an abandoned car or something. I don't know. I don't understand that part, but I guess the people kept driving on and stuff, and so they're like, "Ooh, that's good, you know, we're good now." And apparently the two of them were pretty, what's the word? Turned on. Yeah. And so they were ready to get it going. You know, they were both in the mood and everything. And they, you know, they were like, okay, maybe we should do it. And so she was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah. And apparently after, you know, his hand was down there and stuff, you know, she was ready to go, and she had her hands on his back. And she kept sliding her hand down to his butt, and he was like, "Whoa, what's going on there?" And she was like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm just putting my hands there." And he's like, "Oh, okay," thinking like she's just gonna touch his ass or something. Which, you know, I mean, that's fine. That's cool. And about 5 minutes later, I guess, she slides down there and goes farther in and slides her finger in his butt. And he's like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, what in the hell are you doing?" Like, seriously, he freaks out. He's like, "Okay, what in the hell are you doing?" And she's like, I thought we were just trying to get each other in the mood. I thought we were just trying to have a good time." He was like, "By putting your finger in my butthole?" And he literally just put his shirt on and his clothes on and was like, "This is done. I can't do this. That literally makes me want to throw up." And so he made her sit back down, put all her clothes on, drove her home, and they literally broke up because she put her finger in his butthole. And I don't know, this just reminds me of some Kanye West type shit, you know. I don't think it's gay, but I think it's weird, and I would never want that to happen to me. So yeah, but anyway, tell me what you guys think of this story. Tell me what you would have done. I mean, yeah, that was just crazy, and it spread throughout the school. Everyone heard about it within like a week. I didn't believe it at first, but when he admitted to it happening, and then she told her friends that it happened, everyone in the school knew it was legit. So yeah, but anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and comment what you thought of this story down below. Subscribe if you haven't already, and thanks once again for watching. I love you guys all so much, and peace.